Same thing, 115 people laid off. They're going to have to do more cuts in the fall, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I don't think anything has changed since what I said the other night. This was unnecessary. We should figure out a way to be more thoughtful about this, but ultimately this was council's will. And I hope that we never do this again. I hope that we continue to operate in a way that delivers services more efficiently, that reduces the cost of municipal government, but does so in a thoughtful way.
But aren't you going to do it again in 3 months when you get scenarios of 0 and 1.5?
3 months is better than 3 weeks, and certainly administration has been working on different budget scenarios for us, but this is an extraordinary situation. You know, we had a year or more of conversation before looking at our multi-year budget. Council passed that multi-year budget overwhelmingly, and like 2 hours later wanted to start thinking about it again. At some point, council needs to stand by its decisions, take the information and make decisions, and even if they're sometimes unpopular, live with the circumstances of that and not change direction on a dime.
Layoffs take time, but we found out this morning, you know, the transit cuts they can't tell us about, they won't know until September. I mean, there's 80,000 hours of, you know, service hours being cut. You know, people go back to school in September in various different institutions, post-secondary, secondary, we don't know.
I'm a little bit surprised by that because every year we publish, a couple times a year, we publish seasonal transit service changes, and those should be available quite quickly, but I'll follow up on that.
Do you know how your office and council will be affected by these cuts, and can you tell us about it?
I know how my office is going to be affected by it, which is I come in under budget every single year, which is great. I'm proud of that. But I am taking some cuts to a number of the accounts within my office, and I will likely not be filling a vacant position, which is about 7% cut to the personnel in my office.
Yeah, because you have what, 10, 11?
Something like that. And of course, I am the only member of council who is actually taking a pay cut.
Why are we considering withdrawing from CRMRB or whatever it is?
Or whatever it is. That might be the answer. The answer might be embedded in the question. The real answer to that question is, it is really critical that we do thoughtful regional planning. And the model of the Calgary Metropolitan Regional Board, it's very new. I'm willing to give it some time to get itself sorted out. I think that you are seeing some frustration that it is not helping us do thoughtful regional economic development as well as it should. And clearly there are different ways to address that frustration, but that is a conversation council will be having at its regional strategic session in September.
What if they're, sorry.
I was going to say, it's not membership mandatory under the provincial legislation?
Yes.
So how do you pull out of an organization you...
Excellent question.
What happens if we see cost overruns on the arena? How will those be handled?
We will not see cost overruns on the arena. Now, I hate making promises like that. I don't want to sound like the mayor of Montreal back in 1974. But what I will say is that since I've been in this job, every single major project has come in on time and on or under budget. The reason that the Calgary Municipal Land Corporation is going to be acting as the project manager on this construction of this arena is precisely because they are good at bringing things on time and on budget. And ultimately, what we have to do is ensure that the scope of the project fits within the budget that is allotted to it.
Does that mean that the community, the additional ice pad might be sacrificed if it's looking like that? It's a question of meeting that budget.
Yeah, there's a number of design elements in these things that you want to design out early if you think they're going to lead to cost overruns. And believe it or not, it's the same conversation that we're having on the Green Line. Measure twice, cut once. And, you know, so for example, the joke that I always tell, which is true, is that in the Videoton Center in Quebec City, man, that is the largest hot tub I've ever seen in my life. And there are things you can pull back on.
What about this shortened period of consultations? Who asked for that?
That was the recommendation of the Event Center Assessment Committee. The chair of the committee can probably say a little more about that. I'm agnostic on this because ultimately you do consultation if you think there are changes that are possible and you want to hear about those changes, or you do it if, as a politician, you genuinely have not made up your mind and you need to hear from the public about what is going to happen. And I am not convinced that either of those criteria are in place here, so I'm not sure what dragging the decision out will do. If that, however, is council's will, that they want to do a little more engagement, and if they can promise to be truly open-minded while they listen to the results of that engagement, I certainly wouldn't be opposed to that.
Is your sense council members have made up their minds?
Yes, but, you know, they always surprise me.
So we're ready for a vote.
I'm ready for a vote. There have been, last I heard, 1,000 or so public submissions to the clerk. That'll be fun this weekend going through all of those. I'm always open-minded. I will look at what people have to say, but certainly in the ones that I've gone through now, people have had a lot of very thoughtful questions. And the good news is those are questions that we've addressed. I really do have to go. Thank you.